The Cryptic Courier. Avery's motorcycle roared through the city streets, the sleek black briefcase strapped tightly to their back as neon lights flashed around them. This was no ordinary delivery, and Avery knew it the moment the client handed over the encrypted briefcase. They'd built a reputation as the best courier for sensitive deliveries, but something about this job felt different. Avery couldn't shake the feeling that eyes were on them, hidden in the dark corners of the bustling city. They had no idea who was after the briefcase, but the client's hushed tone hinted at more than just stolen data. As Avery sped through the city, their phone buzzed with a cryptic message from an unknown number: "They're coming for you. Don't stop." Without hesitation, Avery pushed the throttle harder, weaving between cars and cutting through alleys to avoid any potential tails. The briefcase was unlike anything they'd ever carried. Its surface was cold and metallic, pulsing faintly like it was alive. They had a rendezvous point, but getting there without being caught was becoming increasingly impossible. Mara, the leader of the shadowy organization pursuing the case, was relentless in her pursuit. Her agents were already mobilized, tracking Avery's every move using advanced surveillance drones. Avery ducked into a narrow alley, heart pounding, as a drone whizzed past overhead, its searchlight sweeping the streets. The city's towering skyscrapers cast long shadows, perfect for someone to hide, but also for someone to ambush. Just as they thought they'd lost their pursuers, a black SUV screeched around the corner, blocking their escape. Avery barely had time to react, skidding to a stop and darting into a side street, leaving the SUV behind. They had to think fast. They couldn't afford to be captured or lose the briefcase. Avery's only chance was Leo, a former intelligence agent who knew how to disappear and decode things like this. With a quick call, Avery arranged a meeting with Leo at a forgotten safehouse deep in the industrial district. They knew Leo would have answers, but the danger wasn't just from the organization. Leo had his own secrets. Avery arrived at the safehouse, an abandoned warehouse tucked away from prying eyes and surveillance cameras. Leo was already there, eyes scanning the briefcase like it was a puzzle waiting to be unlocked. "You're in deep this time," Leo muttered, tapping the encrypted lock and shaking his head. Avery leaned against the wall, exhausted, but too wired to relax as Leo began his work on the case. Meanwhile, Derek, a tech specialist Avery trusted, sent them updates on Mara's movements. Derek had intercepted communications. Mara wasn't just after the case, she wanted to silence anyone involved. Time was running out, and Leo knew cracking the encryption wouldn't be easy, especially under such pressure. As Leo worked, the walls seemed to close in, the tension growing with every minute the case remained locked. Avery's instincts screamed danger, and they were right. Mara's agents were closing in on the safehouse. A loud bang echoed through the warehouse as the doors were kicked open, agents storming in with precision. Avery grabbed the briefcase and bolted through the back exit, Leo following close behind. The chase was on again, with Avery and Leo barely ahead of their pursuers as gunfire echoed behind them. They sprinted through a maze of narrow alleys, dodging obstacles and barely keeping ahead of Mara's agents. Avery's mind raced. If they couldn't deliver the briefcase soon, it wouldn't just be their lives on the line. Leo glanced at Avery, panting, "We need to split up. I'll meet you at the drop point, just don't stop moving." With a nod, Avery veered left while Leo disappeared into the shadows, giving them both a better chance at survival. Avery raced through the city, every corner feeling like a trap, every shadow hiding an enemy. They could feel the weight of the briefcase pulling on their shoulders, a constant reminder of the dangerous cargo. Mara's agents were relentless, appearing around every corner, forcing Avery to take riskier routes. After what felt like an eternity, Avery reached the rendezvous point, a hidden underground garage far from the main streets. Leo was already there, bruised but alive, working on the final stages of decrypting the briefcase. The moment of truth arrived as Leo finally cracked the encryption, revealing the dark secrets inside. It wasn't just data, the briefcase held evidence of the organization's plans to manipulate global governments. Avery's heart pounded as the weight of the situation hit them. This delivery was bigger than anything they'd imagined. They had the evidence to expose Mara's organization, but getting it to the right people wouldn't be easy. As they prepared to leave, Mara's voice echoed from the shadows, "You think you've won, but you don't know what's coming." Avery turned, spotting Mara's cold, calculating stare from across the garage, but there was no time to respond. In a flash, Avery and Leo bolted, slipping through a back exit as Mara's agents swarmed the garage. The adrenaline fueled their escape, but the weight of what they carried made every step feel heavier. Avery's life would never be the same, they'd seen too much, and there was no going back to normal deliveries. As they disappeared into the night, Avery knew they'd have to stay off the grid for a long time. Leo handed Avery a new phone with only one contact number, a lifeline in case the organization came after them. They parted ways, but the connection between them was unspoken, a shared understanding of the danger they now faced. Avery rode through the city, their thoughts racing. This was no longer just about survival, it was about stopping Mara. The briefcase had been delivered, but the cost was high, and Avery knew they couldn't escape the shadowy world they'd entered. Every corner of the city now felt like a potential threat, every stranger a possible enemy. Mara's organization wasn't done, and neither was Avery, they were just getting started. The courier who once thrived on danger now had to live with it constantly at their heels. Avery glanced at the city one last time before disappearing into the night, a ghost in the urban jungle. The battle was far from over, but Avery had one advantage: they knew the enemy, and the enemy didn't know them anymore.